Привет! Как дела? Today you'll learn how to ask questions in Russian. And first of all, in Russian there are less rules for that than, say, in English. All you need to know is the following. In Russian, you make questions just with your intonation. There is no specific order of words in a Russian sentence. And you can make negative questions too, and they won't sound rude in Russian. I'll explain all of these points one by one. Let's start with the first one. In Russian, you make questions just with the help of your intonation. There are no auxiliary verbs like in English, do, did, or have. So all that you need is just a simple Russian sentence, like one of those that we formed recently. I gotta get off topic here for a second. Please, take your time to get familiar with the conjugation of verbs that we've learned so far. And make sure to practice the phrases with them too. I promise, it'll pay off. I'll leave you the links to those videos in the description so that you can check them out one more time if you need to. So, can you remind me please how you say I am listening to you in Russian? Я слушаю тебя. How do you say I hear you? Я слышу тебя. These two verbs sound pretty similar, so it's very important to not confuse them. Make sure you conjugate them right. And how do you say you are listening to me? Ты слушаешь меня. Great. Now we'll take this sentence and turn it into a question. Ты слушаешь меня. This is a positive statement. For a question, your intonation will go up. Ты слушаешь меня? A common question is, how do I know in what part of a sentence my intonation should go up? Or which word in a phrase should I emphasize? The answer is, it depends on the context, on what you mean with your question, what you're trying to ask. If you're trying to find out if a person is listening to you or not, you will emphasize the word listen, слушать. Are you listening to me? Ты слушаешь меня? If you're trying to find out, say, if the person is listening to you or to someone else, you'll emphasize the word me, меня. Ты слушаешь меня? Oh, you're listening to me? What do I know about that? And lastly, let's say you're in disbelief that that person is listening to you. This time you will emphasize the pronoun ты. Ты слушаешь меня? Oh, it's you who is listening to me? The situation is probably the weirdest of all, but I hope it still illustrates the point. So in most cases, you must be using the first one. Are you listening to me? Ты слушаешь меня? Great. Now, how do you say you hear me? Ты слышишь меня? Let's say you're wondering if a person can hear you or not. How do you ask in Russian? Can you hear me? Or actually, in Russian it will sound as do you hear me? Ты слышишь меня? Your intonation goes up. Awesome. Now let's make a couple of questions with the verb говорить. How do you say I am talking to you? And first of all, which preposition are you using? Right, preposition с, and it will rather sound as I'm talking with you. So how do you say it? Я говорю с тобой. And now you are talking to me. Ты говоришь со мной. And now you're wondering, are you talking to me or to someone else? Let's ask the Russian-speaking Robert to show how it's done.
You talking to me?
Ты со мной говоришь?
You talking
Со
to me?
мной?
You talking to
Ты
me?
говоришь со мной?
Then who the hell
А
else
с
are you
кем
talking
еще,
to?
черт возьми?
Which part of the phrase are you emphasizing? Right, the part «со мной». Are you talking to me or to someone else? Ты говоришь со мной? Let's watch the famous scene from The Taxi Driver one more time.
You talking to me?
Ты со мной говоришь?
You talking
Со
to me?
мной?
You talking to
Ты
me?
говоришь со мной?
Have you noticed anything? In Russian, the character says, «Ты со мной говоришь?» «Со мной?» «Ты говоришь со мной?» It looks like you can switch words in a Russian sentence. And this is true. There is no specific order of words in Russian, unlike it is in English. So you can say «Ты говоришь со мной?» or «Ты со мной говоришь?» And it will mean exactly the same. Only take a note that we're still emphasizing the same part, со мной, no matter where it is, in the middle or in the end of a sentence. The same applies to other phrases too. Ты слушаешь меня may sound as Ты меня слушаешь? Again, the question is all the same and we still emphasize the same word. Ты слышишь меня? Or Ты меня слышишь? Same idea. If you'd like to practice some more, you can just rewind the video and repeat these phrases after me again, as many times as you need. So, though there are practically no rules and you can put words in a Russian sentence wherever you want, it's better to not go too crazy with that. Sometimes, when you put words in an unusual order, the whole phrase can acquire a different tint. Say, it may sound old or even a bit aggressive. For example, a person today may say, «Ты меня слушаешь?» And the phrase «Меня слушаешь ты?» would sound like something said in the old times before the 20th century. So, before mixing words intentionally, you gotta be aware of a slight tint of style or emotion you might be adding to the phrase. At the same time, take into account that other people may be doing it too. So don't be surprised or confused if you encounter an unusual order of words in a Russian sentence. And lastly, in Russian, you can ask negative questions too, without sounding rude. It might be a question like, couldn't you help me? And actually, this is the way the polite could you help me sounds in Russian. Не могли бы вы мне помочь? The idea is that you're kinda accepting in advance that a person might not be able to help you. Does it make sense? I'll give you another example. Let's say you're asking your friend, have you seen the new movie yet? In Russian, you've got two options, a positive and a negative one. You can say, ты уже смотрел новый фильм? Here, you're kinda implying or guessing that your friend might have already seen the movie. And if you ask it in a negative way, ты еще не смотрел новый фильм? You are kinda hoping that they haven't yet. Very often, when talking to native Russian speakers, you may hear phrases like, you haven't seen it, right? Or, you haven't tried it yet, right? You don't understand, right? And if you're a native English speaker, it might sound rude to you, and it might take some time to get used to phrases like that in Russian. But the main idea is that from one hand, a person is asking you, and from another hand, is making an assumption, a guess, a positive or a negative one.
Ты ни хрена не понимаешь по-русски, да?
Да, да.
А что, если я тебя сейчас отведу на кухню и хорошо там отжарю?
Да.
Да.
Here, the waiter, a Russian actor, is asking the lady, "You don't understand a single word in Russian, do you?" I'll simplify it. Ты ничего не понимаешь по-русски, да? He is assuming that she doesn't understand any Russian, and he's just making sure that it is true.
Ты ни хрена не понимаешь по-русски, да?
Да, да.
So, let's sum it up. Once again, in Russian, you make questions just with the help of your intonation. There is no specific order of words in a Russian sentence. And you can make negative questions too without sounding rude. На сегодня это все. Увидимся через неделю. Пока!